here's what's coming up on your horizon. Well, despite some recent storm systems moving through the state, we are in a record-breaking drought, and no one is probably more adversely affected than our state's farmers and ranchers.
We've had about 25 inches of rain across the state for the past 2 years. Each year, 25 inches of rain. If you look back at 2-year periods, consecutive periods, that's the fourth driest 2-year period in Oklahoma history.
Too little rain has caused the price of hay to skyrocket in Oklahoma and made those big round bells a target for thieves.
I'm Keela Kellen. A little later, I'll show you how law enforcement is using technology to fight an age-old problem.
And with the opening of each legislative session, the governor presents her State of the State address.
What can we do that will best attract the jobs for Oklahoma in our future?
We'll hit some of the highlights as well as focus on a popular youth program under the spotlight. Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in career tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, despite storm systems moving through the state last week, Oklahoma is still in the midst of one of the worst droughts in decades. Several cities are already working on watering restrictions, despite the fact spring is still 6 weeks away. And as for the people that live off the land, well, they're just hanging on. Joining me now is our Andy Barr.
Well, Rob, the lack of water has caused the U.S. cattle numbers to drop to 91 million animals, which is the lowest it's been in 6 years. The 3 states that fatten the majority of the beef we eat are Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. These are also the states most affected by the ongoing drought, causing the price of beef to skyrocket. It's been more than 2 years of extreme heat, wildfire, and little to no rain, leaving many wondering when will it end.
We've had about 25 inches of rain across the state for the past 2 years. Each year, 25 inches of rain. If you look back at 2-year periods, consecutive periods, that's the fourth driest 2-year period in Oklahoma history.
Gary McManus is the Associate State Climatologist for the state of Oklahoma and says there is no definite answer to what will happen next.
Of course, it's very difficult to predict very far into the future. What we do know is that right now we're in the driest part of the year in Oklahoma. So as we get out into the spring, we will probably still be in some level of significant drought across much of the state.
And from an agricultural standpoint, the potential third consecutive year of extreme dry conditions could leave producers choking on dust.
I'm just going to try and hang on to what I've got.
Bobby Lee is a cattle producer from Newcastle, Oklahoma, and says the last 2 years of drought has drastically cut his production.
We normally put up 1,300 to 1,500 round bales a year. We put up 240.
A costly situation in an unforgiving climate.
We ended up having hay hauled in from 7 states, spent over $70,000 for hay. We had to sell the calf crop for 2011 in the summer. Ended up running the mama cows on wheat to help cut on feed costs.
And if that wasn't enough.
But the problem we got now is the ponds are going dry. And if we don't get rain this spring, forget about how much feed and hay you got. If you don't have water, you're out of luck. I got a grandmother that's 95, and she was telling me during the 2011 situation that the only thing the 30s had over 2011 was the dust.
And this may only be the beginning.
When you look at the Dust Bowl drought or the 50s drought, those droughts lasted several years. The Dust Bowl drought, the 1930s, that was 10 years. The 50s drought, that was 5 or 6 years. So with just 2 years of this drought and 2 years in counting, it's sort of in its infancy.
And McManus says there is always hope, and then there is reality.
We can hope to have good rains or snows over the next couple of months, but it is our driest time of the year, so not really expected.
And Lee says it's going to take a lot for him to quit.
It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. I've spent over 30 years building this herd. I'm gonna go down fighting, hanging on to them.
Now, aside from the dropping cattle numbers, the wheat crop has also suffered this year. Now, cattle are grazed on tender wheat shoots in the fall and early winter before the snow comes. And without a good wheat crop, cattle producers must resort to paying for record high priced feed.
So what does this high-priced feed and the low cattle numbers, what does it mean for consumers?
Well, Rob, whenever there is a spike in a certain commodity, a ripple effect happens and all commodity prices take a hike. Now, consumers can expect to see a hike in the grocery stores for beef prices. And this past November, beef prices hit an all-time high of $5.15 a pound, up from its previous record of $5.09.
Sounds like something we could be seeing more of. Thank you so much, Andy.
You're welcome, Rob.
Now, when you take a look at this next map, it is not a pretty sight at all. All the areas you see in the deep dark red are considered in exceptional drought conditions, while the lighter red areas are classified as an extreme drought. While that smattering of yellow you see, those have been the wettest areas of the state, but still fall under the drought classification, making the entirety of Oklahoma bone dry. When we return, our Keela Kellen shows us how law enforcement is dealing with the seedier side of the lack of rain.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon, featuring some of the good things that are happening in the great state of Oklahoma.
Well, this year's drought-stunted wheat crop has forced many farmers who would normally graze the wheat during the winter to feed hay to their cattle, which has made the demand and consequently the price of hay skyrocket. Joining me now from a farm field is our Keela Kellen.
Well, Rob, while hay may be plentiful here at OSU, it's not that way across much of the state, as hay prices have nearly doubled in price, creating a growing target for hay thieves. With drought conditions continuing to worsen, farmers have become desperate to keep livestock fed, making hay a precious commodity.
It's the first time I've had to buy hay, and I've lived here since 1974.
Fred Wyatt is a farmer in southwest Oklahoma and is one of many who have struggled with a hay theft situation.
I lost some hay and my son-in-law lost some hay. Okay. We probably lost, I don't know, 30, 40 bale altogether. And then our sheriff, he come up with this electronic device, this new technology that we could stick in the bale.
Sheriff Bobby Whittington understands farmers' pain and works to protect his community.
Oklahoma has been in an exceptional drought the past 2 years, and hay has become a premium for our cattle producers here in the county.
The drought has caused hay prices to nearly double in the last 2 years, making hay bales more valuable than ever before.
Over the past couple of years, you know, we'd received reports of 1 or 2 bales being stolen, but once again, when the drought hit, you know, it jumped up to 20, 25 bales being stolen from one farmer, you know. So we had to take some action.
Wanting to find a way to catch hay thieves, Whittington got the idea of using a GPS tracking device.
GPS receiver had been in the bale for a couple of weeks, and one night my phone had a text. I got a text that says the GPS was moving. So I got on the phone and called my undersheriff. He got on the computer and was able to relay to me the movement of the bale. And that led to me arriving at a location in Granfield and seeing the vehicle pull off from a stack of hay, and I decided to follow the vehicle.
By following the vehicle, the sheriff was able to catch thieves, but still he stresses farmers should take preventative action to further protect their bales of hay.
They need to put as many gates as possible to the hay. They need to move it off the roadway. You know, it's a matter of convenience. I understand that for the farmers to stack it near the road, so it takes less time to go out and grab a bale and feed it, but it's also easier for the criminals to take that bale too.
Giving new meaning to the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. Before the drought, hay costs were about $100 a bale. Now prices have nearly doubled to about $200 a bale, making it that much more valuable to thieves.
Now those bales certainly don't look small. How easy are they to steal?
Honestly, Rob, they're pretty easy with farmers leaving them stacked near roads. But with this new rise in crime, farmers are starting to take more action to keep their property safe.
All right, thank you, Keela.
You're welcome, Rob.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't take a drought for agricultural crime to be a problem, which is why the Department of Agriculture has its own crime unit. To see that story, just head to okhorizon.com, where we'll have it streaming under our value-added section.
Still to come on Oklahoma Horizon, letting livestock pay for college. But first, Governor Fallon's State of the State Address.
Well, each year the Governor's State of the State Address is a chance for Oklahoma's top executive to set out priorities and lay out an agenda that they hope the newly convened legislature will follow. And this year was no different.
That is, the state of the state is strong, and it's getting stronger every day.
And on that note, Governor Mary Fallon began an address focused on Oklahoma's economy.
Since January of 2011, we've created over 62,400 new net jobs, giving us the 4th highest growth rate in the nation.
More jobs in more places. The governor credits Republican-led efforts to make a state already topping pro-business rankings even more business-friendly.
To support our engine for growth, the private sector, I've asked the Oklahoma Department of Commerce to develop a state plan to take our economy to the next level. And I want to focus our state on industries that have the greatest potential for wealth generation and job creation.
But to grow industry sectors, Governor Fallon recognizes the need of a well-prepared, competitive workforce.
What can we do that will best attract the jobs for Oklahoma in our future? Well, the answer in our study is pretty simple. It's by strengthening our workforce.
Initiatives she hopes to make with less revenue. For the second straight year, Governor Fallon proposed a cut in state income taxes, albeit a much smaller cut than the one that failed last year.
So I'm asking you to work with me again to lower the tax burden on our fellow Oklahomans. Lower taxes means economic growth and more job creation. This proposal gives us the flexibility we need to ensure that we are reducing taxes responsibly without starving government. Studies show that 80% of the jobs in the future will require a high school degree or more. Further, there is a direct correlation between a state's per capita income and the education level of its citizens. Our reforms and our degree and certificate completion initiatives will ensure that we have the skill sets needed to be able to retain and create good jobs in our state. All of these education and workforce initiatives are major, groundbreaking steps to help move Oklahoma forward.
Producing a highly skilled, highly educated workforce that can attract and retain high-paying jobs into the state.
Working together for the betterment of our citizens, I know we can create a more prosperous and successful Oklahoma, and the state of the state will be even stronger next time we meet. God bless you, and thank you for all that you do for the state of Oklahoma.
And as part of the governor's address, a new initiative called Workforce Ecosystems was unveiled. Earlier, I sat down with the Department of Commerce's Deidre Myers to find out exactly what a workforce ecosystem is. So Deidre, what are these ecosystems that we're hearing so much about?
Well, they're economic systems. I think previously most people have heard about clusters. The idea of clusters started with Michael Porter at Harvard in the 1980s, and basically it's the number of businesses that are oriented around a particular good or a service. So for instance, a cluster forms around natural gas. You have companies that extract natural gas. You have companies that then manufacture the pump used to extract natural gas. You have the companies that transport natural gas. You have the retailers who sell natural gas. And so that's a cluster of companies that are oriented. However, we need to think bigger because the economy in the 21st century has become more complex, more nuanced, and labor needs more skill, knowledge, and ability. So what we wanted to do is take a systematic approach at thinking about our economy, and so we found our economic systems, or ecosystems, for the state of Oklahoma.
So if you will, look at the state for me and tell me what are the major ecosystems that have emerged.
Sure. Well, we did a very comprehensive quantitative analysis of 72 variables, so it turned out to be over 48,000 data points. Then we looked at the industries and found out which industries rank the highest in terms of wealth generation, competitive advantage over other states or other economies, and also growth potential. And so we wanted to find those industries that hit the bullseye in those three targets. And what we did is we found out that there are 5 major ecosystems in the state of Oklahoma. Now, these are economic drivers. There are many, many industries and many economic systems in the state, but there are 5 that are very influential in how our economy builds wealth in the state. The first is aerospace and defense. The second is energy. The third is agriculture, bioscience. The fourth is information and financial services. And the fifth is transportation and distribution.
Now, we hear so much about the biosciences. I don't see that here. Are there smaller ecosystems that it would fit into?
Absolutely. Health bio is a very important part of our economy. And when I talk about the 5 ecosystems, I'm talking about the drivers of wealth for our economy. But that's not to say that there aren't many other systems that do provide wealth to the state. It's just maybe not the top 5. I also use the metaphor of like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have a team of many players, however you have your starting 5. And so when we're playing for the NBA championship, you put your best 5 on the court, but that doesn't mean that you only have a team of 5. You still want to invest in your bench. You want to make sure you have great players, that they have everything they need. But when you're competing for a championship, you're going to put your front 5 out. The other thing that people need to realize is that we have complementary systems. So we have the driver systems, and then we have complementary systems such as infrastructure. So construction is a complementary system. We need houses, we need hospitals, we need schools, we need roads, we need the infrastructure that we have in society. Another complementary system is quality of life, which would include biohealth. We need the hospitals, we need the healthcare, because we need people to be healthy. We need that kind of those occupations such as nurses and doctors and lab techs. So they're very important to having that kind of support. Also, we need tourism and recreation. We need the arts, we need sports, we need things for people to do. So the people who are working, the labor for our ecosystems, they need quality of life. The third complementary system is actually around knowledge, skills, and abilities. And that would include education. So the universities, the K-12 schools that we have, the career tech campuses that we have that help provide labor to our businesses, but also our creative industries. We need people who are able to innovate. And that really goes into the entrepreneurs that we have in the state.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask the question that someone may be thinking that's watching this. That's all well and good that we have these ecosystems, but what do we do with them now?
Well, the idea of the ecosystems is actually to give us a number of things to help in terms of policy. It's just a framework to start a discussion. There are also a number of different levels of ecosystems. So for the state, there are 5, but there may be different ecosystems for a multi-county region or for a community. And so this is meant to start as a framework for discussion for policy leaders, elected officials, other kinds of campus superintendents, university presidents, to understand what are the drivers of their local economy, and then how do you prioritize your resources so that the needs that we have in the economy are met first. This is particularly important when we have scarcity of resources.
Mm-hmm. As this develops, what do you see happening with the state?
Well, the hope is that we'll not only maintain our competitive edge, but we'll grow it. Over the past couple of years, Oklahoma has led in employment growth. We've had one of the lowest unemployment rates. Our manufacturing is booming at 5% growth. We've been in the top 3 in terms of growth percentage over the past 2 years. But we can't rest on our laurels. We know that other economies are going to be coming back from the recession. It's a global economy, so now we're not only competing against Texas or Arkansas, we're competing against Mexico or Malaysia. And so we have got to think about how we get ready for 2020 and 2030. And that's what this initiative is meant to do. It's meant to have everybody in Oklahoma on the same page, going the same direction, because ultimately the outcome we want is Oklahoma's continued prosperity.
All right. Thank you so much. Deidre Myers with Oklahoma's Department of Commerce.
Oklahoma Horizon is now portable. Just subscribe to our weekly podcast. Visit iTunes.com, where you can download our show for your listening or viewing convenience.
Well, each year Oklahoma's Youth Expo awards more than $1.5 million in scholarship and prize money to students showing livestock. Yet, the group has been under fire from some lawmakers upset over a one-time $2 million state appropriation that went to the nonprofit group. This past year, our Andy Barth has been taking part in just some of the activities the Youth Expo provides that go well beyond just showing livestock.
Thousands of students and livestock make up the Oklahoma Youth Expo. It's an event people work toward all year. Tyler Norvell is the show's executive director.
The Oklahoma Youth Expo is the world's largest junior livestock show. Each March we'll have 14,000 animals exhibited from all 77 counties from over 7,000 young people. We give away over $1.5 million in scholarships and prize money to the young people from all over the state that gives them the opportunity to advance their education and learn many life and career skills.
But aside from the excitement in the showroom, OYE offers students an opportunity to enhance their education.
Today we're doing our College 101 program, which are the almost 50 students that received academic scholarships from the Oklahoma Youth Expo this past year. So each of the students are just graduated high school and will begin their college careers. In order to win the scholarship, they had to have competed at the Oklahoma Youth Expo from the time they were eligible, from the age of 9 to 18, and also they had to go through an application and interview process to come this far.
And Norvell says OYE develops students' character.
You know, when these young people are up at 6 a.m. taking care of their hogs or steers or sheep or goats, you know, that's tough, especially in the middle of winter or days like today when it's 100 degrees already. So they learn discipline, character, things that potential employers are looking for.
And OYE showman Trent Bowles says showing livestock has been a big part of his life.
I've showed at OYE ever since I was 9. It was one of those things that it was something that you look forward to as a show kid in my mind. Fortunately, I've been able to be pretty competitive in the livestock industry, especially here at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. I primarily showed goats 7 of the 9 years that I showed at OYE, and I made the sale 5 times, the premium sale. It's been an opportunity that's really allowed me to grow as a showman, as a producer, and as a person entirely.
And aside from the personal growth, OYE helped grow Bowles' wallet.
Financially, they've provided me with a $2,500 scholarship, academic scholarship, and I've also been fortunate enough to win, I believe it was $1,500 for winning a showmanship division here at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. The number of premium sales that I've been able to make and attend really helps out my college fund, to say the least.
At Oklahoma Youth Expo, I showed hogs since I was 9 years old. Mostly I just placed in my class about every year. But I also competed in all the showmanship contests over the past couple of years. I placed a couple of times in that as well.
Dyson Runyon grew up in the hog barn at OYE and knows that furthering his education means a bigger and better job.
I think education is really important. Just in personal experience, I have a brother that decided not to go to school. And he's 20 and still living at home. And people nowadays don't even really want to look at you in terms of high-paying job without having a degree in some sort to prove that you put forth the effort and put forth the hard work to further your education and to become better in something. And I think that shows moral character, as well as when somebody in the job market's looking at somebody.
I can do that.
While OYE is making champions in the show ring, they're sending professionals into the real world.
You need a nice firm handshake.
Now, in addition to livestock showing and College 101, students participate in a leadership program where they travel all across the state, even to Washington, D.C. They also get to do an international experience. This past year, they got to go to Ireland just to learn more about agricultural production and policy all around the globe. Now, this year's Oklahoma Youth Expo will take place March 16th through the 26th. Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, trying to prevent teen pregnancy here in Oklahoma.
My goal for why we do it is the whole unit My kind of theme for that is one decision can change the rest of your life.
Plus, we'll look at efforts to fight childhood obesity on Oklahoma Show for the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Well, that is going to wrap us up for today, but you can see more of any of our stories on our website at okhorizon.com. You can watch us on the go with our weekly podcasts on iTunes, or follow us throughout the week on Twitter at OKHorizonTV, or just become a Horizon fan on Facebook. I'm Rob McClendon. Thanks for watching. See you back here next week.
Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education and the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. Copies of today's show are available on our website, okhorizon.com. Thank you for watching Oklahoma Horizon.